Hello everyone, my name is Jen and welcome to the Book Refuge. So today I'm doing a video that how do I say this? So this was recommended by one of my channel members, and then this video was also voted on by my romantic renegades and faded friends as the sponsored video for October. I got a little late with getting this up because I went through kind of like a creative block the past couple weeks, and so anyway, a thing happened. So one of the membership levels for the channel is that you help get to decide on videos that I make, as well as sometimes choosing a video to sponsor is something that I do. So this video, my favorite spooky booze, is sponsored by my channel members. And the thing is, this came down to the wire. So there's 2 videos that I'm filming today. Well, 3, including my weekly wrap up. And like literally every time I checked, these 2 videos were tied with each other. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need you guys to like pick one, okay? And then when I just checked just now, this video was winning by 1 vote. So favorite spooky booze is by the channel members this month. Okay, enough. You can check out channel memberships down below if you'd like to look it out. I have options starting at $2 a month, and it just lets me know that you like what I'm doing here, and it's very awesome. So this video in part is a little bit like redundant. I just want to say that, but not everyone watches every video, so maybe some of these will stand out. Some of these characters are actually on favorites lists already. Some of them are new to me, and some of them I just thought it would be cool to put them in here. So the way that this video was kind of presented to me, where they're like, hey, make a video doing this, it was say what your favorite like paranormal / like spooky boyfriend is in each of these categories, and they were like vampire, werewolf, witch hunter, like all these things. And I was like, that's cool. And then I realized that I don't have a spooky boo that fits into each one of those, because some of them I haven't even like read a book that has that in it. So I just went with my favorite paranormal or spooky heroes, because there is particularly one of these heroes that is not paranormal, but he is spooky and terrifying. Spooky is a weird term. You'll see when I get to him who I mean. But for the most part, these are all vampires, werewolves, or shifters that I'm going to be sharing with you. And so we're going to go through it. And we're going to start with the enemy of old, the most terrifying, Lothaire. So yeah, I had to put him on my spooky boo list. Okay, he's the ultimate vampire. He's been around the longest. He's terrifying. We see him through so many different parts if you're reading through the series. And when it's finally his turn, he gets given this puny, pathetic in his eyes, hick girl named Elizabeth, who's from the backwaters of where, like Alabama or something. And this is all in his point of view. And he just wants nothing to do with it. So much so that he's convinced himself that the deity that is inhabiting Elizabeth is really his mate. And so he's looking for a way to remove Elizabeth from her own body so that Soroya, this vampire goddess, can inhabit, not a vampire goddess, the goddess of death, can inhabit Elizabeth's body. So, not a great meet cute, right? Not a great meet cute. In fact, this book actually starts with Elizabeth has gotten herself accused of murder. She didn't actually, it was the demon inhabiting her, but she's gotten herself put on death row and is trying to get herself killed so that the demon inhabiting her cannot use her to do evil things anymore. And Lothaire is not going to let that happen. Not going to let her ruin his plans. So, this book is amazing in my opinion. I love it. It is one of my favorites in the series. It probably is my favorite in the series. It's definitely the one I've read the most. And when I'm putting together a list of my favorite paranormal boyfriends, Lothaire tops the vampire list very high up there. But he does have a little bit of competition. So let's move right along to a couple other vampires that also make my list. Another one being Salon from Black Sunshine and Blood is Love. I believe this series is called the Dark Eyes series is what it's actually called. And our hero in here is a vampire And our heroine, her name is Lenore, and she is actually the child of vampires. She doesn't know it. We do because it's in the prologue. And she's actually raised by vampire hunters. And when she reaches the age 21, she starts going through the change where she is being turned into a vampire. And when that happens, Salon, who again is a pretty tough vampire man, swoops in to help her learn about it, to help her make this transition, and a little bit forcefully in a lot of ways. She's kind of sort of kidnapped by him at the same time. And her parents, they know that this is for the best in some ways. Even though they hate vampires, they want their daughter to live. So there you go. This is part of a duet by Karina Halle, but this duet is actually part of a series. So there's actually another book coming out in this series next month, and I'm freaking excited for it. I signed up for the arc of that one, and I can't wait. But I really loved this. This book just brought me back to like my Vampire Diaries days, and it just, it made me so happy. And these books are steamy, particularly the second one. They also are not for the faint of heart. There's lots of blood and a little bit of dubious consent or non-consensual. It's explained in the book, like it's not completely out of nowhere, but it seems kind of intense when it's happening. So Salon is definitely on my list. Then one more vampire that I want to mention for sure is Jace from Kingly Bitten, which is part of the Blood Alliance series by Lexi C. Foss. This is actually book 5 in the series, but Jace is by far my favorite vampire in the series. He's the vampire king. He has taken over after they have defeated this evil vampiress who was terrorizing everyone. The Blood Alliance is what it is called. There's alliance between the Lycans and the vampires to have dominion over the humans. Humans don't have any rights. They are slaves, either used for sex, blood, or breeding. That's all that they're good for. And this group of rebels, they are trying to break that down and to give humans back their rights, to give them a place in the world again, even to the detriment of themselves, because, you know, they have total control over people, over humans right now. And it's just a very interesting series. And so in this book, our hero Jace, I don't want to spoil too much, but as I said, they've defeated someone bad previously. This evil woman had scientists who worked for her to kind of keep things the way that she wanted them. And so there is this like destruct situation that evil woman had in place, that if our heroine didn't hear from this woman in so much time, then she was supposed to start the self-destruct situation. And Jace takes this woman captive, believing her to be a complete drone for Lilith, so that, you know, he can try to stop what's going on. And he doesn't have kindly feelings towards this woman, even though she didn't have a say in any of the things that she was asked to do, because it was do them or die type of situation. So there you go. All right, let's move to a couple of wolf shifters, if you will, some wolfies. All right, so first up, I gotta share Mateo from Wolf Gone Wild by Juliette. This is definitely a different tone than the previous ones I've shown. Okay, this is almost a comedy. This is a beautiful romance that takes place in New Orleans, written by my friend Juliette Cross. And this is an older couple, which is not like old, but like 30s and 40s couple, which is cool. Well, our wolf, he's actually older than that, but like our heroine, she's in her late 30s. It's great. She is she like draws comics, and she's one of the Savoy sisters, of which there are 6 of them. And yeah, she's a witch. They're witches, by the way. And then our hero, Mateo, something is wrong with his wolf, Alpha. He's not able to come out. And so because Alpha has not been able to change during the full moon, he has pushed himself to the surface, and he's actually able to communicate with Mateo in a way that like isn't normal for wolves. And he's kind of driving Mateo crazy. Okay, he's driving him crazy because Alpha is a horny dog, and an alpha, as his name would say, and this just isn't how things are supposed to go. So The Savoy sisters normally do not work with werewolves. That is just kind of their thing. But Mateo seems to be just this, he's an artist. He makes these like metal sculptures, and he just has this sweet, sweet soul. And Evie just really wants to help him as best as she can. Yeah, that's all that I want to say. But it's beautiful, it's nerdy, there's Star Wars stuff, there's other great things in here. This is an amazing read. There's 3 books out in this series, as well as a Christmas anthology that is delightful, and I highly recommend. And Mateo, he's one of the sweetest wolf boys that I've ever read, okay? So he has to be on this list. Then another wolf that I gotta share would be Hawk from Kiss of Snow by Singh. Sorry, the lighting won't like this because this is shiny. I freaking love this book. This is book 10 in the Psy Changeling series, which I've read like 13 of the books in the series. I haven't made it any farther than that because I got a little burned out. But this was a book that, oh my gosh, blew my mind. This is about Hawk, who is the alpha of the Snow Dancer wolf pack, and Sienna Lauren, who is a Psy, and she has a very rare and very powerful Psy gift that is also causing her some problems. She has been living with the Snow Dancer pack for quite a while now, since she was a teenager, and it's very clear that there is a connection between Hawk and Sienna. Now, this is a world that has fated mates. They believe they only have one mate, and that you lose your chance if you lose your mate. And so Hawk doesn't understand this pull that he has to Sienna. He doesn't think that it can go anywhere other than it is already, but he just can't seem to stay away from her. And I freaking love this. Hawk is so alpha and sexy, and the way that he's fighting it. This is also an age gap, right? Because he is, I don't fully know what age he is, but I know that she's like 18 or 19, you know, she's young. And I just love Hawk so much. I love the Snow Dancer so much. So he's definitely a boo. One other shifter from this series, though, that I did want to mention, who's not a wolf shifter but is actually one of the leopard shifters, what was that? Something just flew by me. Is Lucas from the, sorry, I forget the name of the pack. There's Snow Dancer and what is this pack called? They like just hit it from me. Dark River, the Dark River pack. And our heroine is Sasha. This is the first one in the series. I know, I like Hawk the most, but I love Lucas because I just love him being the first hero, and the way that like our heroine Sasha, they're not allowed to like, Psy don't have physical connections with people, and the shifters are like all about touch. It's literally called like they get a touch hunger, and there is platonic touch and like pack touch, and then there is like romantic touch. Like there's all different kinds of physical touch, which I am a physical touch is one of my love languages, so I absolutely love that. Like there's a big difference between wanting to cuddle with your friend while you're watching a movie because you want to like just have that physical comfort, and you know, sexy time. Those are different. But Sasha doesn't have either one of those things because they're not supposed to touch or show emotion or anything, because it's supposed to be very dangerous for the Psy. When she gets assigned to work with Lucas on like this project, she starts to kind of like infiltrate his dreams a little bit, and things get a little bit spicy. And Lucas getting to be the male who kind of awakens Sasha, and once we find out what Sasha really is and what she means for not only the Psy but for the changelings as well, it's amazing. But I love Lucas. I love how he's such an amazing alpha in the way that he leads his pack. He's so fair and just, but strong and fierce, and I love it. I love him so much. And then the last spooky boo that I want to talk about, I just want to bring him up, is Leon from Her Soul to Take. Now, I know this book doesn't work for everybody, but the people that it works for, it really works for us, okay? This is by Harley Leroux. This is the first book in the Soul trilogy. This book is, he's a demon, and he is getting he has this family that summons him and forces him to do certain things, and they're able to do that by having this grimoire that has his like true name in it, so they're able to summon him. Somehow this grimoire gets into the hands of our heroine, whose name is Ray, I believe, and she's actually a like booktuber who does like paranormal things, and so she gets this grimoire from her friend's bookshop because somehow this very important grimoire ended up in the bookshop, and her friend just gives it to her because she's like, I can't really sell this. This doesn't have an ISBN, an ISBN or anything, okay? And so she goes to this like old church to do like a fake seance or summoning so that she can film it, and she actually summons Leon, and she knows him from an interaction that they've had before, and so she thinks that he's fucking around with her, and he's like, wow, this woman doesn't know that she actually summoned a demon. And this has like, he's a dick hero, and I think that's what a lot of people have a problem with. It worked for me because he's a demon. Like, he's a demon. And this has some of the sexiest sex scenes ever. Like, it's so good and, like, dirty, and I loved it. And the second one in the series comes out at the end of the month, and I'm so excited for it because there's tentacles on the cover, and I'm here for it. So there we go. Those are some favorite spooky boos of mine. Again, I know some of this might have been redundant because I did just do a paranormal, but who cares? Like, these are some of my favorites. And I'd love to hear who your favorite vampires, vampire hunters, witches, warlocks, all that jazz, tell me. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I put up new videos 3 to 4 times a week, and you can watch some of them right now. Bye.